Hello. I'm originally from Buenos Aires and I have Sicilian genes. I know what you might be thinking, and you're right. That's a pretty feisty combination. Growing up in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, I learned two main examples of what it means to be a woman. Being submissive, keep your mouth shut, and look pretty. Please, and put everybody else before you, sacrifice. Follow the rules, don't ask questions, and wait for your turn. Be the good girl. Or work really hard and fight your way through life. Make things happen for yourself. No one's coming to the rescue. Say what's on your mind and suffer the consequences. Be the bitch. If you're anything like me, this didn't sound like a fair deal, did it? Now, I learned very quickly that there weren't that many options out there. So, even though I'm very strong-willed, I followed the rules. I checked all the boxes. I became the good girl. The truth is, I was good. I care for others. I still do, by the way. I wanted to be loved and share my love with others. I wanted it to be a win-win for everybody, except that no matter how hard I tried, how well I did in school, how organized my room was, my parents didn't stop feeling the pain and the challenge of losing a child at birth and having my brother with special needs who needed to be changed and fed, not just for a few years, but for life. And I want to pause here for a moment to say that my brother, he passed away this summer. And today, of all days, is his birthday. He would have turned 50. I tried everything, but it wasn't enough. I helped out. I did my best. At times, I felt defeated and abandoned. Then I went like crazy and angry and resentful, and then feeling guilty for feeling that way. And it's like I couldn't win, no matter how hard I tried. This fighting my way through life was not what I wanted, but I didn't see any other way. I kept going over and over, repeating this cycle in my life. I found this perfect job that paid me really well. I met the perfect guy who checked all the boxes. I was doing an amazing job. Everybody loved me. My family was so proud of me. My friends were absolutely proud of me. Yet, there's something, that voice, something didn't feel really good with me. So I felt like I was living a life that wasn't mine. Do you ever feel that? Right. And at some point, I think I'm forgetting about the slides. Oh no. At some point, I was like, something doesn't feel good. So one day I got into my office and I got fired on the spot from my corporate job for laughing, even though I was doing an amazing job. I went back home that night, and my husband at the time was so disappointed at me for losing my job that paid me really well. And I had nothing to do with that. And 3 months later, after throwing him the most amazing surprise birthday party, he woke up the next day and said, "I don't think I love you anymore." And my marriage was over. My perfect world was starting to fall apart in front of my eyes. I was devastated. I felt defeated and heartbroken. Only this time, I wasn't going to allow it to bring me down, and my bitch took over. I promised to myself that I wasn't going to become a victim again. Well, here's the thing. I really want you to hear this. When a woman closes her heart, nobody wins. Okay? Are you with me? Yeah. Okay. So, after all this, I was like, are you kidding me? There's gotta be a different way. This cannot be it. Like, honestly, this cannot be it. And this is when I found myself that I didn't think that I could be powerful and feminine. Okay? And when we women go after and we create this fighting our way through life, it doesn't really work. Do we get that? Yes? Okay. So one day I was in my apartment in New York City, and I woke up at 3 in the morning, and I couldn't put my pen down. I was writing like a mad woman. I was like, there's gotta be a different way. And when I stopped writing after probably all night, I looked at the paper and I found this system of 4 archetypes that completely made sense to me. It was saying and it was explaining everything that was happening in my life and everything around it. And for the first time, I realized that I wasn't crazy. I called it the Empowered Woman Archetype System. There you go. Our feminine body isn't designed for pushing and forcing our way through life. I really want you to hear this, because we are the creators of life. There is a different way, and this is what I'm going to show you. So when I created the archetype system, it includes 4 archetypes, and this gave me a language, not only to understand myself, but also to realize that it was absolutely possible for me to be true to myself as a woman and have what I wanted without needing to sacrifice myself in the process and without needing to become a man. Right? I know, because that's what we believed. Not only that, it also allowed me to help hundreds of women around the world to access their power without betraying their feminine nature. How cool is that? So this archetype system involves the good girl, the wild woman, the victim, and the bitch. The good girl. Oh my God, the good girl is the part of us. By the way, we all have these archetypes. They're all within us, okay? And the good thing about it is that these archetypes, they get activated at different times of our lives. Like if you really think about it, right? And not only that, the key is to learn why and when they get activated and how to come back to our power. So the good girl is the part of us who is loving and caring and thoughtful and giving. She feels everything. She's empathetic and she's compassionate. Our good girl is pure love and magic. And the good girl loves to give. She loves to make everyone happy. She wants to share her love and be loved in return. But she learned that the only way that she was worthy of this or deserving of love was if she became what others needed from her, right? Then there's the victim. By the way, I chose my favorite movies. You can tell, right? That's Eat, Pray, Love. So the victim, but one thing that I do want to clarify, the victim, for strong women like us, this is the part of ourselves we're like, oh, hell no, I'm not a victim. Now, I want you to hear me out, because I totally get it, but I want you to really connect with this part of you right now. It's very important. The good girl is the victim is the overgiver. She lacks confidence and self-worth. She feels guilt, can't say no, no boundaries, sacrifice, fear, and scarcity. Our victim chooses safety at the expense of our own happiness. She has a purpose, okay? She's trying to protect us. Then there's the bitch archetype. She doesn't trust. She's closed off. She's critical and judgmental, resentful and angry, and she doesn't ask, she demands. Our bitch fights for our protection and our sanity. Now, the bitch has a place. Are we on agreement with that? Yes? She comes out when we're not seen or heard. She comes out when others take. She comes out roaring to say enough. And she comes to restore the balance of giving too much and receiving too little. The thing is with this is that most of us learn to betray our feminine nature because I didn't think I could be powerful and feminine. And perhaps you can relate to this. Growing up in a culture that said that women couldn't be powerful and men held all the power, I didn't think that I could be that powerful woman. I didn't put it together. And the truth is that when we don't realize that we do this, then we go into accessing our power from the masculine. This is what the bitch archetype does. So we betray our feminine nature in order to be powerful, and we go into masculine to access that power. Now, what happens is that because we're going against our feminine nature as women, that's why we get angry and aggressive. But I want you to also hear this. Everything around us suffers when we do that. Life becomes harder than it needs to be. Our capacity to give and receive love. Tell me if this is not truth. Our pleasure, our beauty, our creativity, our joy, our connection with our body, I didn't put that there. Our intimacy in our relationships. And are owning our right to abundance. We are nature. We are abundant. This thing of working so hard for everything that we want, it's not our truth. Not our truth. And I'm really wanting to invite you to own this part of you, which I'm going to tell you in a minute. That's the beauty of it. So, the disempower feminine cycle. Most of us find ourselves caught in this cycle. Most of us operate from here. And there's no shame on this. We didn't learn any other way. Does that make sense? Like I said, I had those two examples. I was either the victim, the bitch, or I was either the good girl. Neither of them worked out for me. That didn't resonate, but I didn't know any other way. The disempowered feminine cycle starts with our good girl who genuinely wants to give. She loves to give. She likes to make everyone happy. But when she gives and doesn't receive, because she doesn't want to take from others, or she feels greedy or selfish if she receives, then we fall into the victim, right? And we feel abandoned, and nobody gives us, and nobody sees me, and nobody does anything for me, and why? I'm doing everything. But then she's like, well, maybe if I do it this way, maybe if I try a little harder, maybe they will give me. But she finds herself trapped there, and they don't because they're used to her being the giver. Does that make sense? That's what they don't give us because we're always giving, and then we're saying no when people want to give us. It says, well, then that's okay, then I'll take from you. And that's when the bitch comes out. The bitch is like, oh, no, you're not going to do that. She comes out to protect us, but from in an aggressive way. And in this aggressive way, we push people away. It repels people. Do you relate to what I'm saying? Right. Now, some of us go from good girl to victim, good girl to victim. Some of us go from good girl, victim, bitch, good girl, victim, bitch. Some of us have a highway to the bitch. We go from good girl to bitch. Yeah? Now, here's the thing. if we stay stuck in this cycle, if we don't do something about it, we're constantly gonna be here and we're going to feel abandoned, betrayed, frustrated, angry. It just doesn't work. Because if we go exploding like a volcano, who explodes like a volcano every so often? Yeah, thank you for being honest. I really appreciate it. Yes, it doesn't feel good inside, does it? When you're in that pillow at night, you know what's going on. You can pretend that, oh, I'm totally good. Oh, I don't care. And yet, inside, you know. So we need to end this cycle. Would you agree? Yeah, cool. Well, thanks to, remember I said I was feisty, right? And remember I said I'm a strong will? So this is when it came in handy, because it's not about denying any of our shadow. It's about owning of every part of ourselves and knowing how to use it to create what we want. So I use my feistiness and my strong-willedness to create this, to figure out what the hell do we do. So, meet the wild woman. And I put my photo there because the wild woman is very unique to all of us. No wild woman is the same. The wild woman is the most sacred part of ourselves. For the record, the wild woman is not the one that lifts up her shirt and is like, woohoo, in South Beach. That's not the wild woman. That's the image that we were taught it was. Why? Why do you think it was like that? To keep us away from her. Because she holds the torch for our feminine power and our right to abundance. She is connected with nature. She is the part of us who knows what's the best for you, and she's connected to your deepest desires. She feels the hunger of your soul. It doesn't get deeper than that. She knows the life you're meant to live and constantly calls you to live your highest destiny. Your wild woman is confident and courageous, free, fun, and fierce, adventurous, creative, of course, bold and brilliant, sensual and sexually alive, and open to receive. When we close our heart, women, we don't receive. We deny our feminine nature. If we don't receive, what we give comes from a depleted place. Does that make sense? We're not really giving. We are doing. We're not enjoying the giving. The act of giving, it's a gorgeous, beautiful, joyful act. But if we're not receiving and we're in depletion, we're snappy. We need to end that. Yes? Are you ready? So, the empowered state of the feminine is the good girl and the wild woman. The disempowered state of the feminine is the victim and the bitch. Now, the secret to the secret, to find this balance, did you see how it was the disempowered feminine cycle here? Right? The secret is to bring the wild woman into the picture, because when we bring the wild woman into the picture, creating that alliance, we experience the natural flow of life. We become an empowered woman. And what does that mean? The good girl, when she receives, she has so much more to give. Yes? Not only that, the good girl is in our heart. The wild woman is in our womb. A lot of us, when we are in fear and survival, we're from the neck up. We're thinking everything, right? And we're analyzing everything, but we're not feeling. We're not tuned in. Your wild woman is your internal guidance system. She knows what you need to do. We keep asking outside, oh, what do you think? What do you think? Seeking approval, seeking permission. Instead of knowing what we need to do. You only know what's best for you. Nobody else knows. And when you follow that, all the doors open up. Now, the secret to the secret, and I love using this analogy, not only because I'm clearly from Argentina, but also because it's so beautiful. It's the tango. Here's why it's important for us women to be in our feminine. Because when we're in our feminine, we can dance the tango with life. We can dance the tango with our inner masculine. So then there's that beautiful flow. Have you ever watched tango? If not, get out of here and watch a YouTube video. It's beautiful, right? Again, I'm biased, I know, but it's beautiful. And it's one of the dances where you need to be connected from your heart. The tanguera, which is the woman that dances tango, she's in her power. That woman meets the man in the middle of the dance floor. She doesn't like, oh, sure, rescue me. No, she wakes up from the chair and walks into the, I'm here. Yeah, let's do this. And at the same time, she allows herself to receive, and she's graceful. And that's why when you see that, right? I know them, they're awesome. They're a married couple, actually. And you see the passion, the intensity. Imagine living your life from this place. Imagine what you can create. I get emotional. Imagine for a minute. So from now on, I really want you to invite you to dance the tango with life. When you are in alignment within your feminine and masculine, then you can dance the tango with everything. You want to create your business. You want to find your partner. You want to have a beautiful relationship with a partner. The woman invites the man to also show up for her. But if we don't receive and we think we're powerful and we're going to do everything on our own, then there's no point for the men. Yes? Yes. We are the creators of life. So I really invite you to connect with this part of yourself. The woman that dances tango, she trusts herself deeply. She knows what's best for herself. She is connected with her heart and the womb. So I want you right now to put one hand in your heart. I can't do it because I have like two hands. One hand in your heart and one hand in your womb, and close your eyes and take a deep breath. Whenever you find yourself off balance, if you're dancing the tango, if you're in your masculine, you're going to step in the man's shoes. It's not going to work. And if you're not in your power, then the man has to drag you, and it's not fun. The way that we create this beautiful intensity in the passion for our lives is when we are aligned within our feminine nature. Women, let's not betray ourselves anymore. Let's step into the empowered woman. You are here for a reason. You are the most magnificent creature on the planet. And together, co-creating with men, because this is not a war of men against women. Are we clear on this? I want to close with this. This is not a war of men against women, because I'm telling, did I say that right? Women against men. Because here's the truth. This belief that women are not supposed to be powerful didn't just affect us women. It also affects men, which means that we both need to do the work. It's time to come together in union. It's time to dance the tango. Thank you very much.